Want to ruin your entire reputation before lunch? Easy. Just do one of these 9 things in public. Boom, instant regret, maximum humiliation. Bonus points if someone films it. Now, if you like the idea of being quietly ignored, pitied, or laughed at, this video might not be for you. But if you'd rather not self-sabotage in front of an audience, and you'd like to learn how Machiavelli himself would play the public game, stick around. Because the truth is, power is performance. And some performances should never make it to the stage. Ever said something in public and immediately thought, why did I just say that out loud? Yeah, you're not alone. Public space is a battlefield, and every word, every look, every twitch, it's ammo. Use it right, you gain respect. Use it wrong, you hand people a loaded weapon, and they will aim for your credibility. Machiavelli got this. He knew power isn't just about what you do. It's how you look doing it. This video isn't about manners. It's about survival. 9 things that if you do them in public will make you look weak, exposed, or just flat out ridiculous. Let's start with the one mistake that screams, please don't take me seriously. You know that moment when someone starts defending themselves? Even though no one asked? That's it. That's the red flag. Over-explaining is like handing people a detailed map of your insecurities with neon lights and a guided tour. And in public, it screams, please don't misunderstand me. I beg you. Bad move. Here's the thing. The more you explain yourself, the more you sound like you're guilty, or worse, desperate. Even if you're right, even if your intentions were good, people don't hear your reasons. They feel your need for approval. And that's deadly to your image. Machiavelli would roll his eyes and say, power doesn't justify itself. It simply exists. Translation: the strong don't beg to be understood. They act. They decide. They move forward. Let the others catch up or choke on their confusion. Let me guess, you've been there. You say something at a meeting. Someone gives you a look, and you panic. Oh, wait, what I meant was, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just thought, well, it's complicated. And then shut up and sip your coffee like a CEO. Stop. Just stop. You don't owe the world a 3-part documentary explaining every little choice you make. They're not listening. They're judging, and you're handing them more ammo. Say what you mean what you say. And here's the kicker. If someone really wants to misunderstand you, no amount of explaining will save you. So the next time you're tempted to launch into a full-blown TED Talk about your intentions, don't. Let them wonder. Let them be confused. That's for people who don't know how to keep others guessing. Because mystery, my friend, is power and clarity. You might think showing emotion makes you relatable. Wrong room? In private? Sure cry, vent, scream into a pillow. But in public, your feelings are not just feelings. They're signals. And everyone's reading them like a free newspaper. Lose control, lose power. Ever seen someone explode with rage in a meeting? Or break down in tears during an argument? You probably didn't think, wow, that's a well-balanced individual. No, you thought, yikes, not stable, not in control. Machiavelli would call that a strategic failure. He didn't say never feel. He said, control the appearance. A prince must appear composed, even if he's burning inside. It's not about faking. It's about not letting your internal chaos leak out all over the carpet. And here's the brutal truth. People don't trust emotional outbursts. They pity them. Or worse, they mock them later. Anger? You look like a hothead. Crying? You look overwhelmed. Nervous laughter? You look like you're lying. Oversharing joy? You look needy for attention. Now, does that mean you have to be a statue in public? No. You just need to develop what Machiavelli would call emotional armor. Let others raise their voices. You stay calm. Let them crumble. You stay standing. Let them laugh too loudly, you smirk. At one silent moment of restraint, it says more than a 10-minute meltdown ever could. Here's a little trick. Before reacting publicly, ask yourself, will this emotion help me gain respect or lose it? If the answer isn't obvious, keep it to yourself. Because power doesn't flinch, power doesn't flail. Power watches, waits, and speaks when it wants to, not when it has to. And the one who stays composed in a room full of chaos, that's the one everyone quietly fears. Ooh, this coffee is cold. This meeting could have been an email. Why does this always happen to me? Sound familiar? Welcome to the public theater of loud complaining, where dignity goes to die. Now listen, everyone complains. It's human. But doing it loudly, publicly, and frequently, that's not venting. That's a performance of powerlessness. And nothing screams, I have no control over my life, louder than someone constantly narrating their misery. Machiavelli would have taken one look and said, never reveal what disempowers you, especially not with an audience. Why? Because complaining isn't just annoying. It signals you're reactive, not strategic. It tells people, this person's not solving problems, they're auditioning for sympathy. Spoiler, sympathy doesn't equal respect. In fact, it often kills it. Imagine two people stuck in traffic. One is fuming, slapping the steering wheel. The other is just calm, watching, thinking, maybe plotting their next move. Who looks like the person in control? Exactly. Here's the kicker: people do remember public complainers, but not fondly. They remember the whiny voice, the drama, the awkward tension they brought into the room like a bad smell. So what should you do when life sucks in public? Smile like you've got a plan. Or say nothing. You're allowed to be annoyed. Just don't build your personality around it. Because if people associate your name with negative energy, guess what they'll do? Avoid you, forget you, exclude you. And as Machiavelli might put it, power isn't gained by being loud about your problems. It's gained by appearing untouched by them. Let's get one thing straight. Saying, sorry, once, when you've truly messed up, that's powerful. It shows awareness, confidence, class. Saying sorry 5 times for breathing too loudly or blinking weird in public. Now you just look like someone auditioning for approval. And Machiavelli? He would have thrown you out of the palace. Because here's the brutal truth. Over-apologizing doesn't make people like you more. It makes them trust you less. When you apologize too much, it sends one message. I'm unsure of my place here. And if you're unsure, people will agree with you. Sorry, I just had a thought, probably stupid. Or, sorry, I didn't mean to take up space, or oxygen. Or exist at all. It's painful to watch. And even more painful to be that person. Apologies should be rare and well placed, like a sniper shot. Not sprayed around like perfume from a broken bottle. That you expect to be in trouble. That you're not fully in control. Because every time you say sorry, when you don't need to, you're teaching people that you expect to be wrong. And in public, that's lethal. Instead, practice these Machiavellian moves. Replace sorry I'm late with thank you for waiting. Replace sorry for interrupting with let me add something here. Replace sorry, can I say something, with here's my take. It's not about being rude. It's about owning your space like you belong there. Because the person who apologizes for everything ends up leading nothing. And the one who apologizes with precision, that person gets heard. We get it. Life is hard. You've got baggage. So does everyone. But unloading it in public? That's not brave. That's risky. Especially if you're aiming for influence. Oversharing personal struggles in front of others feels like connection, but it often reads as instability. Machiavelli would have stared at you, stone-faced, and said, do not hand people the sword they could use against you. Because that's exactly what oversharing is. Handing out weapons, free of charge. Now, don't get it twisted. This isn't about hiding who you are. It's about timing, audience, and strategy. Venting about your toxic ex to your coworkers? Not strategic. Crying over burnout in a boardroom? Not strategic. Turning every conversation into a therapy session? Absolutely not strategic. In private, with people you trust, share, cry, fall apart. But in public, be composed. Be mysterious. Be a little unreadable. Because when people know your emotional weak spots, they will press on them intentionally or not. And when you act like you've got nothing left to hide, you also act like you've got nothing left to protect. That's not powerful. That's exposed. Let them wonder what you're going through. Let them guess. Make it part of the story, not a sob fest. And if you do open up, do it with purpose, not pity. Think of it like this. Your struggles are part of your legend, not your introduction. Because the person who walks into a room and doesn't explain their scars, that's the one everyone wants to know more about. So you want to call someone out in public. Expose the boss. Challenge the system. Burn it all down in front of a crowd. Because here is the thing. Calling out authority without a plan is like declaring war with zero weapons and no idea what side you're even on. Machiavelli would have smirked and said, "If you strike at the king, you better not miss." Translation. If you're going to challenge power, especially in public, you need to win, not make a point, not start a conversation. Win. But what do most people do? They get emotional, loud, righteous, and then they get crushed. Public rebellion without backup? That's career suicide, social suicide, sometimes even literal suicide, depending on the century you're in. And guess what? The people watching? They're not joining your revolution. They're taking notes on your mistakes. They're watching how quickly you get silenced and how not to follow in your footsteps. Instead, play it like Machiavelli would. Study the system before attacking it. Build quiet support before raising your voice. Strike after you've already won behind the scenes. Public humiliation feels great for about 5 seconds. Then comes the fallout, the pushback, the damage. So before you challenge anyone in power publicly, ask yourself, do I want to win? Or do I just want attention? Because only one of those ends well. And remember, the best takedowns don't happen on stage. They happen in whispers, in moves no one sees, and when it's already too late for your target to fight back. Look, we all enjoy a little sarcasm, a clever jab, a savage one-liner, the occasional roast, but doing it in public? To make yourself look smarter, cooler, or funnier? Congratulations, you just made yourself look dangerous, but not in the good way. Mocking people publicly isn't edgy. It's risky. It's like lighting a fire just to prove you have matches. Fun until everything around you burns, including your reputation. Machiavelli would have told you straight, humiliation breeds hatred, and hatred does not die quietly. You might win a few laughs, sure, but you also win enemies. Quiet ones. Patient ones. The worst kind. Public humiliation doesn't just hurt the target. It tells everyone watching that you're really not safe to be around. You don't punch down. You punch sideways. You make people look over their shoulder around you. And here's the irony. Most people who mock others in public don't even realize the long-term cost. They think they're being clever, charismatic, just joking. But people remember how you make them feel, especially when that feeling is shame. Want to really look powerful? Protect someone's dignity, even when you could easily destroy it. Want to be Machiavellian? Mock the idea, not the person. Or better, yet save it for the private room, where the damage is invisible. So next time you feel that burning urge to deliver a killer insult in front of an audience, swallow it, smile, say something neutral, and watch as people trust you more because you're the one who could have humiliated, but didn't. Power isn't in cruelty. Power is in restraint. Was that okay? Do you guys think I did all right? Is this outfit too much? If those questions sound familiar, don't worry. You're not alone. Just publicly exposed. Validation feels good. It's like a little pat on the ego. But asking for it in public? That's like walking into a room and shouting, "Hey everyone, I'm not sure I belong here. Can someone please clap for me?" Machiavelli would raise an eyebrow and say, "The powerful do not ask for permission. They assume it." Translation: if you need public approval to function, you're not in control. The audience is. And that's a problem. Because the more you seek validation, the more you teach people that their opinion is more important than your own. You invite them to become your judge, your mirror, your master. And let's be honest, most people are terrible mirrors. They'll reflect their own insecurities back at you. Or worse, they'll pretend to support you while secretly loving the fact that you're unsure of yourself. Want to know the real flex? Walking into a room and not caring if anyone claps. Not because you're arrogant, but because you already decided you're enough. Don't ask, "Did I do okay?" Tell them, "Here's what I did." Then move on like a person with places to be and empires to build. Because confidence isn't about being the best in the room. It's about not needing the room to tell you. So if you catch yourself fishing for compliments, pause. Remind yourself, power doesn't beg for applause. It walks off stage before the crowd even realizes they should have clapped. So yeah, I'm planning to be CEO one day. Cool story. Thanks for giving everyone in the room a head start on how to block you. Here's the Machiavellian truth no one tells you. The moment you reveal your ambitions, you hand people the blueprint to stop you. It sounds inspiring in theory. Speak your dreams into existence. Yeah, unless those dreams threaten someone else's position, or ego, or control. Machiavelli would have said, if your enemies know your plan is already compromised. He understood one thing. Power moves in silence, not with motivational speeches and vision boards stapled to your forehead. When you loudly tell people your goals, you don't just invite cheerleaders. You invite resistance, jealousy, sabotage. And sometimes, your greatest opponent is the one who pretended to support you all along. That doesn't mean you shouldn't have goals. It means you should hide them behind actions. Let your moves speak. Let your results whisper what your mouth never said. If you want to rise, do it without broadcasting it. If you want to win, do it without warning. Because the most dangerous person in the room is never the loudest one declaring world domination. It's the quiet one who already bought the map, memorized the routes, and is already halfway there, while others are still busy posting about it. So before you announce your next big step, ask yourself, am I sharing this because it helps, or because I want applause? If it's the second one, zip it. Play the long game. Move in the shadows. Let success do the talking. Machiavelli would. So, what have we learned? Public space isn't neutral. It's an arena. And every move you make either builds your throne or burns it down. Machiavelli didn't care about being polite. He cared about being powerful, respected, untouchable. And if he were here today, he'd say, in public, you are never off stage, so act like it. Don't over-explain. Don't overshare. Don't whine, beg, or confess. You don't need to look perfect. You need to look composed, mysterious, like someone who knows things and doesn't need to prove it. Because in the end, the person who says the least often controls the most. The one who holds back emotion holds the room. The one who doesn't need validation gets it anyway. So next time you're in public on a stage, in a meeting, or just existing on planet Earth, ask yourself, am I performing strength or exposing weakness? If it's the second one, Change the script. Now if this hit a little too close to home, good. You're one step closer to being unshuckable. Smash that subscribe button like a modern prince. And comment below, which one of these 9 sins are you secretly guilty of? Go on, we won't tell Machiavelli.